On today's episode, I'm going to be answering the question of why do some expert-led businesses not grow to the level that they deserve to?
The Systems Wise Podcast.
Hello and welcome to the show. I'm Gareth Everson and this is Systems Wise. It's the show about helping resource-constrained small businesses to solve some of the challenges that much larger businesses with more resources are able to solve much more naturally. We do that through looking at sales and marketing processes and systems in a way that helps you as an expert-led business to solve some of those challenges that you'd be able to do so much more easily if you had more resources at your disposal. Today, I'm going to be talking through what I call and have called in the Lemonade Plan book, the problem solver's paradox, and why your expertise might be actually the biggest barrier to you being able to progress as a business. One of the most frustrating things I've seen on behalf of some really capable expert businesses that I've helped in the last 14 years has been this contradiction between somebody's ability to solve the problems that their clients or patients have versus their ability to be able to grow their business to reflect that capability and to thank, if you like, that expertise that they have. They're not getting the recognition, the credibility, and the profitability that should go from all of those years of expertise and those great ways that they're able to help their clients or patients. And today we're going to look at that problem solver's paradox. The first thing that I'd like you to think about is this challenge that the more problems that you can solve as an expert, the harder it becomes to focus on any one of them. And the harder, therefore, it becomes possible to be able to turn that into a systematic way to grow your business. And how this plays out is that when you take on clients or perhaps patients, you're delivering very scattered and different solutions to each challenge or problem that you're faced with. It's almost a personal challenge, if you like, as an expert to be able to overcome those problems that your clients face. This is what I describe as the expertise trap. The longer that you have trained in developing an understanding and a way to solve the problems that you do, the more problems that you start to see with all of your engagements and all of the people, all the clients or patients or customers that come into your world. So the deeper your training that you have in those areas, the more likely you are to see related problems that those clients experience who are coming into your world. And so as a result of that, and because of this obsession that we have with finding the right solutions to those challenges and to those problems, we can end up down these rabbit holes of trying to solve every single problem that exists. And of course, what that does, instead of being able to move into repeat mode and start working with the next client or the next batch of clients who come into our world, we end up feeling exhausted, carrying on working with those clients where perhaps we've solved 80 or 90% of the challenge that they faced. But because of our obsession with perfection, we are still absorbed in that relationship rather than looking for the next opportunity, rather than systematically moving on to the next client or patient that could come into our world. This can result in a scenario where this expertise moves us more towards creating custom solutions for every client rather than standardized ones that serve a much wider audience. And so the thing that I'd like to challenge you on today around this is, if you're driven by solving every single challenge that a small number of clients has, or if you feel that your expertise would be more valuable to more people, but in a more standardized way? What would drive you and what would motivate you more? Is it having an impact on more people, or is it having a bigger impact on a fewer number of people? And in this scenario, that's where we need to weigh up what our delivery model is and what our offers are that we're making to those types of clients. If you fall into that bracket where you would rather solve more of the problems that fewer of your clients have, or that fewer people you're able to serve have because of the time limitations that you have and not feeling exhausted, and you're happy to go down that pathway, then I definitely encourage you to think about, are you getting paid the value that your expertise deserves in that realm? Are you undercharging for that really deep level of expertise that you're able to bring to that fewer number of clients? If you fall into that bracket of actually having thought it through, I am helping too few people to solve the problems that they have, and I'd like to help more people to do it, then I'd encourage you to think about what represents, if you think about it from a Pareto perspective, what represents the 80-20 mix, whereby doing 20 or 30% of what's possible to be done, what can have the biggest swing door effect of solving 80 or 90% of the challenges that they have. That's one thing that I'd like to get you to think about if you fall into that bracket of wanting to help far more people with the expertise that you have. There's no right or wrong answer here. The fact that you are running your business and you've been able to run that business for as long as you have done means you're good at what you do, means that people are happy to pay you to do those things that you do that solve the problems that they have. However, what I'd like you to take away from this episode is there a more valuable way to more people that you can deliver what you do without exhausting yourself? Are there ways that you can deliver something that's more systematic, that's more scalable, that's more repeatable, and that's more easy to present to a wider audience so that you can help them to solve the problems that they have? So, food for thought on today's episode of the Systems Wise podcast. Thanks for listening, and thanks for being a subscriber to the show. If you'd like to discover more about this episode or about other episodes, then head to getsystemswise.com/EP52, and you'll be able to see the resource notes from this episode and links to other similar episodes on this topic. And if you enjoy the podcast, I really value it if you'd leave a review wherever you're listening to or watching this episode. And if you're happy to share an episode or two on social media, that would mean a great deal to me. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.
The Systems Wise Podcast.